Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you guys how to castle. I'm going to go over the basic rules as well as some misconceptions you might have about castling. Okay, so castling generally happens in the opening, and castling has to do with the king and rooks. So you castle with your king and one of your two rooks. And it's important that all the pieces in between that were in between the king and rooks are cleared out. Otherwise you won't be able to castle. So in castling, how castling works is your king always moves two squares. You can castle to the king side, or you can castle to the queen side, like so. And note that the king goes two squares in both directions. The goal of castling is to get your king safe from any danger, as well as to develop your rooks. And just to show you with black can castle this way, or he can castle this way. If you want to be able to castle, your king must not have moved earlier in the game. So when you castle, it has to be your king's first move, and it also has to be the first move of whichever rook you're castling with. Let me give you guys an example. So let's say the king moved here, and let's say the king moves here, and then the king moves back, and the king moves back. So white is unable to castle here because his king is already moved. So once your king moves, you are unable to castle. You lose castling rights. And same with black here. If it was black to move, he wouldn't be able to castle either because his king has also moved. Same with your rooks. Whenever you move your rook out, you won't be able to castle with this rook. But since your king hasn't moved, he is still able to castle with this rook. Another rule of castling states that you are not allowed to castle out of check. Because this white king is in check, he cannot castle. Castling is meant as a preventative move, rather than a move that immediately gets out of danger. If your king is already in danger and you feel like castling, well then that's just too bad. You have to stop the check some other way. Another rule of castling states that you cannot castle through check. So because this bishop is guarding f1, f1 becomes an unsafe square, and because the white king is moving through f1 to castle, this is an illegal move, so he's unable to castle this way. And obviously you don't want to castle when the resulting position will have your king be in check. So if this white king were to castle, remember the king always moves two squares, he will be in check after castling, so of course this is illegal. So basically when any one of these squares, c1, d1, or e1, are controlled by an enemy piece, you're not allowed to castle at the queen side. And if e1, f1, or g1 are controlled by an enemy piece, you're not allowed to castle on the king side. Generally a good guideline is to castle on the side where your pawns can protect your king. So on the king side, this black king has 3 pawns to protect him, so he's relatively safe there. However, if he castles on the queen side, there's an open file here, so this black king is going to be a little bit vulnerable, and it's probably not the best decision to castle on this side of the board. Here is a misconception about castling. You might think that the white king is unable to castle on the queen side because this bishop is here and he's controlling the squares that is between the king and rook. But actually castling is legal in this position. So long as the king doesn't cross over the square that the bishop is controlling, this is a legal castle. So thanks for watching my video on castling. Be sure to check out some of my other videos on chess, and I'll see you next time.